Welcome back to your favorite comedy finance channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I hope you guys have missed me. I missed you. We're in OddApp every single day. Don't forget on Wednesday, 10 p.m., we have another voice conference every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to give you guys a new weekly forecast to give you an idea of what I'm going through, what I'm seeing out there, and what to look after, okay? Because, see, one thing I was talking to everybody about within OddApp recently was I don't like analysts, that give you only what's going on today, that only think about today. Whatever pick they like, whatever interests them, happen today. Whatever they want to talk about, happen today. And the reason why I don't like that, and I don't really consider those people an analyst, I consider those people more like reporters. You're more of a crypto reporter, or you're more of a crypto, somewhere along the lines of somebody that just reports on what happened today. Okay. And I don't consider those analysts because a real analyst could give you a forecast and a lesson based on what happened in the past and also what's coming in the future. And the reason why analysts are so important, real ones, is because they provide enough data to give you something to project. They give you something where you could position early, something that you could take a swing at based on what the bet is, okay? Let me just kind of pull this down just a little bit. But the reason why I say this, okay, is because whenever I'm providing a forecast, okay, and keep in mind, it's not financial advice. You guys make your bets. I'm going to make mine. Okay. Because there's a lot of people that listen. There's a lot of people that don't listen. But at the end of the day, the choice is yours. I call bottoms. I call tops. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, I let you know how I feel. Okay. And the accuracy level, I would say, is pretty damn impressive based on everything that we've talked about over the past 2 years. As you could see from the last time we were providing a forecast way back, I want to say early 2022 in January, we talked about the euro crashing. We talked about the pound crashing under the weight of the dollar. It happened in Q2. We talked about how much bullshit is going on with these GDP reports and how they were hiding numbers and how, what's funny is we have a new GDP report coming out on the 27th of April. Okay. And then you also have a Fed meeting on the 2nd and the 3rd. Okay. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget we're on Twitter, and every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on OddApp, okay, we have a voice conference, weekly forecast, give you an idea of what I'm seeing, if I found anything new, any new picks that I like, or whatever the case, okay? But the reason why I was bringing up why it's important that you're talking to a real analyst, okay? Because an analyst provides enough data for you to make your own forecast or to make your own bet on a future swing. Okay. Every event that's coming, every report that's coming is a bet. Okay. Because as you know, everything in the financial world, okay, whether you're talking about FX, okay, for those of you that like FX, for those or like exchange rates between different currencies, for those of you that are new, for those of you that like precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, okay, crypto, stocks, all of these things are topics that we talk about within OddApp because they have a correlation, okay? A lot of people say crypto is decentralized. It's not, okay? Everything has a way of going up while something else goes down. I always hear this term from people like Peter Shaft or Robert Teriyaki, but I always hear the same thing, that everything crash is coming, that everything crash is coming. And I'm here to tell you it's bullshit. That is bullshit, okay? It's never going to happen. The everything crash does not happen everywhere, okay? Because there's always going to be a brand new market. There's always going to be an emerging market that you could take advantage of, okay? And as you guys could see in 2022, a lot of the crashing already happened in the crypto sector. A lot of the crashing already happened in the stock market, okay? I do think that there might be some ways down to go with the stock market, but not everything in the stock market is crashing, okay? Because while a lot of the tech stocks were crashing, the commodities were rising. Gold was rising. Gold is now at 2009. Okay. You also have silver going up. Okay. You have a lot of these different other assets that are rising while other assets are crashing. And that's why I'm here to tell you that the sensationalism found, whether you find it on Instagram or YouTube, Twitter, all the bullshit is sensationalism. Okay. And sensationalism is never going to help you. It's never going to give you the forecast. And the problem with a lot of influencers, okay, or a lot of reporters out there is their pay, let's say that their pay plan, let's say, is all predicated on viewership. Their pay plan is all predicated on, well, let me just chase the algorithm. Let me just chase these buzzwords because this will give me more awareness. This will give me more attention. Okay. And that doesn't help anybody but the person producing that content. See, that's the problem with a lot of people within the sectors of every other, whether in stock market, crypto market, whatever the case. This is a major problem, and it's actually a conflict of interest because, as you guys have seen, especially within the crypto world, okay, all the MSM kids, all the popular shit is going to zero. All the popular shit is saturated. All the popular shit did not work. Okay. In fact, a lot of people are now starting to say, hey, if I see a mainstream media guy start talking about this particular pick, I'm out. It's almost like a red flag at this point. But the reason why I'm bringing all this up, okay, it's all going to come together. Okay. The reason why I'm talking about this is because you need to look after your interest. Okay. And of course, there's no guarantee in the markets and all that stuff, but you still have to learn how to decipher between sensationalism and real data. Okay. Because real data is going to provide you the data you need to make your bet. Okay. Everything that happens in marketing sequence or everything that happens within the sector, whether you're in crypto stocks, it doesn't matter, is going to have some sort of indicator or some sort of report that's going to allow you to make a bigger bet. Okay. For instance, right now you have the next GDP reports coming out on the 27th of April. Okay. You also have a Fed meeting on the 2nd and the 3rd. Okay. So we already know this. Okay. This is all happening within the next week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever. Okay. Then after May, you have the debt ceiling coming. All right. Now you have 3 important events to pretty much put your bet together as to how much cash you need allocated on the sidelines or how much keep in mind too, I know a lot of people say this too. They'll say, oh, you always keep cash on the side or whatever. And I get that. But cash on the side to me doesn't really matter if you're producing income. Okay. Because typically the person that says, oh, I always have cash on the side. Well, it's probably because you don't have enough cash flow. Okay. Because if you have enough cash flow or if you're creating enough recurring revenue or you're making money, you're getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. What is you having money on the side ever going to do for you besides having stale money? Okay. Because you could be losing out on opportunity. Now, keep in mind, there's a strategy for however you guys want to play it or whatever. Okay. But I'm just bringing up different variables to kind of get your minds jogging here. Okay. Because right now we are at a pivotal moment for a bull cycle. In fact, we're already inside of one. Okay. But right now there's a fork in the road. Okay. Now, of course, they're not going to talk to you about it like the way I'm talking to you guys about it, but there's a fork in the road right now. Are you bearish or are you bullish? Okay. And I like to always look at it this way because the market's not going to zero. The market's not going away clearly. Okay. It's not going away. But the bet right now that, let's say, the matrix or the reality is trying to give you right now is, are you bullish or are you bearish? Because on the 27th, there's going to be good news or bad news because that's the next GDP report. Now, before I go further on this topic, I do want to bring up just a reminder, okay? Because what kind of gets me mad sometimes is how they hide data or how they manipulate the data. Because I remember last year we should have declared recession. I remember the first 2 quarters of 2022, we had negative GDP reports back to back. And then they were hiding the data until 3rd quarter and 4th quarter came out, which, had, I would say, inflated numbers showing us on a positive. Okay. But they say that, we might have positive GDP reports coming out again, on the 27th. We'll see what happens. But to be honest with you, these GDP reports, I really don't believe them anymore. It's kind of like, yes, I always see the narrative and I'm always going to take a look at the data for what it is or what it's presented to be. But I can't help but call bullshit on some of these numbers because I feel like we are seriously experiencing shrinkflation right now with some of the products out there. I mean, if you take a look, the prices are going up pretty much all different types of, products out there, whether you're looking at oil or whether you're looking at grocery store foods, all these different things. The prices are going up, but you're getting less stuff. Okay. So they're producing more units, oh, look, we got more products out there, but you're getting less material. You're getting less of everything and the cost is going up, and this kind of reminds me of like, the CPI index, this reminds me of the labor reports that they've been coming out with. There's a lot of people working multiple jobs. There's a lot of people buying less stuff, or if they are buying the same stuff, they're able to get less stuff, but they're still spending more money. So like, the velocity of money is still there. It's still going higher, but the people are suffering, and I don't think that I don't feel like the Fed is really taking that into account, because if you think about it, if more people are working multiple jobs instead of just one or whatever the case, of course the fucking job numbers are going to be bullshit. If you're experiencing shrinkflation and you have companies trying to reduce cost and increase revenue, they're going to provide less material per box of cereal, let's say. They're going to charge you more money, but give you less stuff. Like these are all certain things that are happening that are, I would say, messing up these reports, providing, some sort of positive news. And, of course, the machine is always going to manipulate the way it wants to manipulate. But I just take a look at all these things and, I feel like it's, the reports are kind of silly, but here's what I am thinking right now, okay? I do believe that it's going to be bullish come 27th for the GDP reports. We've already had 2 positive GDP reports. I still think it's bullshit, to be honest, based on what we're looking at. Whatever. But again, going back to the inflation discussion, if inflation is going up, okay, and the products are getting more expensive, gas is getting more expensive, everything is getting more expensive. This is a good reflection or representation as to why investors, real investors, actually like inflation, because you're putting your value, your monetary value, in assets that are going to hedge or they're going to rise with the cost of inflation. Okay. Therefore, you're holding the asset. And now when inflation keeps rising, your asset is going to be worth more money than what you paid for it, because the dollar is devaluing, it costs more dollars to purchase that product or purchase that asset, that crypto coin, that stock, whatever it may be. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because no matter what they do, no matter what they say, even if we were to raise rates between the second and the third, okay, we are at 5% on the Fed rate, and then inflation rate is also 5%. We all know that's bullshit. It's probably a lot higher than that. It's probably 10%, but let's just go by the numbers. If inflation rate is 5% and the Fed rate is 5%, you're still not superseding the inflation rate. So because of that, you have more people that are going to be dumping bonds. You're going to have more people dumping US dollar debt because it's still not turning a profit. And inflation is costing more money to hold the USD than it does to just dump it now and buy an asset that'll hedge. Okay. As you can see, the dollar has been going down dramatically over the past couple of weeks. Okay. So like the last time, let me just go ahead and just get an accurate number. We're at 101.34. Okay. So the market's already kind of letting you know that they're liquidating. So what have they been talking about lately? Okay, they've been talking about the scarcity of money. They've been talking about the scarcity of dollars, because now there's not enough dollars in the system. We need more money. There's all of these different things are really just a cry for what's happening or what could happen to the dollar. Okay, because like I was saying in my last video, I anticipate the dollar to actually compress in value as we get closer to the debt ceiling deadline. The debt ceiling deadline is June. Okay. So no matter what they do, no matter what they say, even if they were to raise rates by 1/4 of a point, it's still not enough margin to sacrifice your time holding the dollar asset versus holding an asset in general, knowing that the dollar is going to devalue over time, especially when Congress, especially when Jerome and everybody is in agreement about the debt ceiling. Congress has already put forth a $1.5 trillion budget proposal together. and they're going to fight over that or whatever the case. But at the end of the day, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, like I said, even if we get closer to the cap, let's say June, let's use time as the cap. Even if we get closer to June and the dollar compresses in value, because keep in mind, we're in tightening. We're in tightening right now. Okay. So the dollar's tightening. You're squeezing the dollar. The monetary system's elastic. So you're squeezing the dollar. Okay. So when you're squeezing the dollar, scarcity is happening. There's not enough dollars. There's scarcity, supply and demand. What happens when there's not enough supply, right? Demand goes up, pushing up the price. So I've been telling you guys, take advantage of the buying power while you got it, because right now they're telling you what's happening. They're telling you what's going to happen to the dollar. We're running out of dollars. There's scarcity. So the dollar's going to go up in value. Like I said, as we get closer to the cap, June, and I anticipate 101, 103, but you're going to get a tremendous easing cycle. I don't know personally if we're going to be able to make it to June by the time something breaks. But let's say, on the 27th, you get bullish news. And then on the 2nd and the 3rd, the Fed says we're going to rate pause. Okay. Let's say even if they go up a quarter point, it's still not going to matter, because I've been talking about this the last few videos. I know my videos are longer, guys, but the reason why is because I'm not here to sensationalize you. Okay. I'm not here to produce a bunch of content to get views, because I don't get paid on commercials. Okay. If you're trying to support me, you're trying to support MYC, you're going to support our development, our software, I want you to download OddApp. It is on your Apple. It is on your Google phone. You could go to the App Store if you want to know for real. If you want to know for the real deal, if we have the results that merited building something to protect the sector, then go check us out on OddApp. It is in your App Store, okay? And also don't forget to like, share, subscribe, of course. We do want to try to get the message out there, guys. But at the end of the day, our model is different compared to what reporters do or what the sensationalized media does, okay? Everybody's pay plan is generated off of sensationalism, so they're going to chase the algorithm. Of course, you're going to get reruns of the same shit everywhere you go, okay? So, but again, no matter what they do, think about it like this. If inflation rate is 5% right now, and I've been talking about this past couple videos, if inflation rate is 5% right now, the federal funds rate is 5% right now, you are still not superseding the inflation rate with the rate. So inflation will not go down. We have till June to get that rate, the inflation rate, lower than 5%. Okay. In fact, if you want to be technical with it, we have till June to get the inflation rate to 2%. It's not going to happen, and it's never going to happen. What they're going to do is they're going to start coming up with excuses as to why they need to change the federal or the inflation rate target. And the inflation rate target will most likely hit 4%. I'm going to call this now. I'm thinking 3 to 4%, but I think it's going to be 4% is what their inflation target will be eventually. I don't know when they're going to do it, but that's what's going to happen. But let me tell you what I feel is going to happen as we go forward from here. You have the inflation rate, 5%. You have the federal funds rate, 5%. Okay. Even if Jerome lifts by another quarter point on the 2nd and the 3rd, don't be misguided, because the media, let's say if the media hears that he raises rate a quarter point, right? Or he pauses or whatever the fuck, chances are, technically he should just do a quarter point raise or even a half a point if he wants. It wouldn't matter, because put it this way, even though, let's say, I'm going to go with worst case, I guess, don't get misguided by these guys, okay? Because they're going to be parroting each other, okay? All the mainstream kids, all the crypto kids out there, they're going to be parroting the same bullshit. I'm telling you. They're going to hear, oh, if the Fed rate goes up, oh, that's bearish. Oh, it's going to be so bad. Don't be shaken, because that's not what's going to happen. Even if they go a quarter point up and an interest rate hike, you have June coming up. And if the debt ceiling gets lifted, which there's no debate on this, I've seen people say, well, there's no real guarantee that they might just not, pay themselves. Oh, there's just no, put it this way, saying that they are not going to raise the debt ceiling is a lot like saying the government is just going to let itself shut down, not pay nobody, and then just kind of let it run from there. It's not going to happen. You think this tyrannical communist ass government is going to not extend its timeline? Of course it is. Of course it is. So again, let's go back to it. Even if you have, it don't matter if you hike the rate, pause the rate, whatever. It does not matter, because at the end of the day, even if we were at 5%, 5.25, 5.50, by June, inflation rate is not going to be 5% anymore. Right now we're at 5%, but once we get closer to June and they lift that debt ceiling, which they will, it is not going to be 5%. It's going to go higher. And everyone knows this, because it doesn't matter. They're not going to be able to catch they're not going to be able to catch the inflation rate with their interest rate hikes fast enough by the time they need to expand the monetary system, because right now you have tightening happening and they're going to stretch the dollar, which is why Congress just got through proposing 1.5T, an expansion of the monetary system. So no matter what they do, no matter what anybody says, you have $1.5 trillion on the table. It don't matter where it goes. It don't matter what it is. The cap of the dollar is going to be minted out another $1.5 trillion. So you're going to have the dollar ease. So if we're at 101.3, if we're at 102, even if we're at 103, as we get closer to that compression line of June, you're still going to get a massive ease. So to me, what's happening is we're going to get a final inhale of the dollar. You're going to see that compression. You're going to get that final little pump in the dollar. And then you're going to go, you're going to feel that ease in the dollar by the time June happens, because by June, you're going to have that the monetary system expanded by $1.5 trillion minimum. And then the most that they could do is, even if they were to expand it by $1.5 trillion, or if they were to expand it a little bit, it doesn't matter, because even if they were to try to expand the deadline of the debt ceiling, they can only expand it to October, which, by the way, if they are going to expand the deadline, okay, of their debt ceiling, okay, to make a decision, whatever, they can only go as far as October of this year. So even to get to that line, because you got to think about it in their terms, they're paying for it in time. So I don't really hear the numbers too much. I try to focus on the time frames. I kind of bounce back and forth depending on what I'm looking at. But, in this particular case, I look at both different scenarios. You're going to increase the supply of with $1.5 trillion, or you can increase it, 500 billion, you can increase it 800 billion, you can increase it 1 trillion, but you're only going to get till October until you need to make a definitive action to create 2x what you created to create that timeline. So no matter what we do, no matter what they say, they're going to need to expand the monetary system, which is going to, again, raise inflation, which, again, is not going to be leaving the current 5% at 5%. It's going to go higher, which means it's going to be even harder. So again, they're going to be trying to catch up to this inflation rate, but at the same time, trying to expand the monetary system. They're in a catch-22. So now they're like, well, we keep trying to extend it and we can't catch an inflation rate. So what do we do? We're not going to get to 2%. Maybe we should change the inflation rate target, to 3-4%, because, if you guys didn't notice during the last, 3 fucking Fed meetings, they've been talking about the inflation target being 2% and where it came from. And what a lot of the mainstream media news is talking about now? They're all talking about, well, something. That inflation rate target, it's not even from this country. And you know what? It's kind of arbitrary. They've been saying that nonstop. If you guys didn't notice, they've been saying the inflation rate target is arbitrary. So you better bet your arbitrary ass that they are going to raise the inflation target to 3 to 4%, and they're going to try to revamp trying to fight inflation, but they're not going to be able to catch it. So look, again, the fork in the road right now is, are you bullish or are you bearish? Okay, come the 27th. And then after that news, you have, to me personally, like if you want to hear my opinion, the 27th will be bullish. The Fed meeting will be even more bullish. And let's say even if you had 2 bearish news in a row of 27th and the 2nd and 3rd, it doesn't matter, because even if we were to try to get rates at 5.25 or 5.50 and inflation rate is at 5%, you only got 30 days to get to 2%. And you're not going to get there on time, because even if you were to get the inflation rate down to 4.75% by the time June comes around, you're going to expand the monetary system, sending the inflation rate target at this time, which is, well, it's not the target, but the inflation rate is 5%. You're going to send it fucking higher. Even if it's at 4.75 by June, you're going to send it higher by expanding the monetary system. And, again, if you haven't been noticing the political news lately, what is Trump running on? Trump is running on lowering interest rates. You can't make this shit up. I mean, you really can't make this shit up. I mean, it really doesn't matter which puppet is in the chair, guys. It really doesn't, So I'm very bullish on where we're going. If you want to go on the flip side for the crypto side, you still have Bitcoin halving coming up on the 2024, right before the elections. So let's say if we were to kind of use that ideology, it sounds like Trump's going to win this election, and then he's going to cut rates and, flood the system. Because if you think about it, the only way to pay off massive amounts of the debt deficit is to manipulate inflation and deflation to your advantage, hedging with assets. And that's what governments do. Governments never, ever, and will never change their strategy. Okay. They're full of shit. The bankers are the kings at selling you old shit with a new name. Okay. And the strategies never change, because you have to take a look at the monetary system like currency. Currency is a frequency, and frequencies go up and down, right? So you have to really understand that when they're trying to manipulate the monetary system, they're leveraging inflation and deflation by acquiring assets with money they don't got, by inflating the system, because inflation makes assets rise. It does not decline them. So I know the mainstream media consistently says, oh, we're going through inflation, but no, we haven't. We've actually been going through deflation all 2022. The dollar spiked to about $1.14. It's now at 101.03. Okay. And it's still falling because inflation is starting to take hold of that dollar value. So again, the way the governments pay off the debt deficit is by flooding the system, expanding the monetary system, because when you expand the monetary system, or when there's more dollars in the system, then assets are going to cost more dollars to pay for that item, to pay for that asset. Okay, so right now what they're telling you, okay, Mr. Investors is, or Mr. or Miss Investors, whatever. I would say Mrs., but I don't know how long some of you are going to have your marriages, but but look, here's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, right now I hear a lot of bullish news, and I know the crypto kids and a lot of the mainstream kids like to propagate that we are in bearish times, but I'm so opposite with what I hear or how I hear things. And, some of the shit that I hear, I can't even believe my ears. But my point is, when I'm hearing people, or when I'm hearing the news tell me that we're in tightening and dollars are scarce, I'm hearing scarcity in the dollar. I'm hearing demand in the dollar is going to go up because there's scarcity. There's not enough. So I'm hearing that my buying power is going up in value, making assets less money to purchase. So do that all you can before dollars aren't scarce anymore. Because when dollars aren't scarce anymore, when dollars are plentiful, when they're abundant, when it's everywhere, and you have oversupply versus demand, the dollar is going to decline in value even more. And I know at this point that the dollar will drop under 100 cents by this year. I'm anticipating it to drop under 100 cents, I would say, by Q3. But we'll see what happens. If you think about it, guys, it's pretty much a given for me. Right now, based on the numbers of our dollars in circulation right now and the demand, the dollar is worth 101.03. Okay. So what makes you think that this dollar is going to be worth 101 after expanding the monetary system by $1.5 trillion by June? Jerome could shit his pants on the 27th of April and shit his pants twice on the 2nd and 3rd of May. And it won't matter, because more money is coming into the system by June. It's fucking over. So that's why I'm trying to tell you guys that get ready, because you are not going to have this buying power for long. If you thought your buying power was cute last year, you're going to think, I'm telling you guys, pants will be soiled by the end of this fucking year. It's going to be wild. And I see it. So I'm very bullish on what's happening, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I want you guys to join ODAP. If you like what you're hearing, if you like me, if you like MYC, and you want us, and I always tell people this too. The market is going to determine what brands are going to be here tomorrow. The market is going to determine what is going to be here in the next 5 years. And with over 350 people within MYC ODAP, I've already see a seed company starting to grow and expand on its own first-party platform because the market demanded it and I created it. So again, guys, if you like what you're watching or you guys like MYC, if you want to know if we're real, okay, you don't even have to join. If you want to just know we're real, go on your app store, find ODAP, download it. I want to see you there, okay? And don't forget, for those of you that are already on ODAP, every Wednesday, 10 p.m., we have a voice conference, and I talk about whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm seeing, and a new forecast every week, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Let's just go through a few picks today that I like, that I'm still keeping an eye on. And again, what's funny? Every cycle, we've been here for a few cycles already, is we get the same yo-yos every new cycle. We get a lot of the new kids that come into crypto, or a lot of the new kids that, been here for a year and they think they know it all already, and stay green. I don't know everything, guys, look, I don't know everything. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. Okay. But stay green out there, because I always, what's funny is you always hear the same shit. Everyone is always begging for the bottom. They're always begging to know a call first. They're begging for the lowest price possible. But do you got the balls or the tits enough to pull the trigger when you see it? Okay, because a lot of people don't. I know I do. Okay, so I take a look at stuff like ArcBlock ABT. I see, things like Bluezo, BLZ, LCX, as another bottom there, PRQ. I know JC's one of our members was bringing up Tone Food, which is something I like as well. That's an OG pick. I saw TVK just got through populating on Coinbase, which is pretty badass. It's a very good company. And MCO2 is definitely going to be an ESG sort of investment, I think, in the future. There's a lot of different things out there. There's a lot of winners, guys. And, look, for those of you that think MYC because of what you see on YouTube or what you see on Twitter, okay, you have a sample. You have a taste of what we are, okay? You don't know what we do. You don't know our strategies, and you don't know, where I'm at and all that other nonsense, okay? I can't talk about everything, okay? And not because I don't want to share it or because I'm trying to be overly secretive, but it's because I just can't. I don't got time to do that, okay? There's over 100 different picks, 100 different projects that we've reviewed or have on radar within the pin section. So if you guys are on ODAP, every channel, if you click the top left-hand corner, okay, there's a pin section that I've provided data points, different schedules, whether it be the Fed meeting, whether it be GDP reports, CPI reports, whatever dates that you need to be aware of, I put pinned in my pin section on ODAP, everything that you should probably know about, or different documents or reports that we have out there, or whatever the case. There's also a variety of different picks and stuff like that we've had on radar. And a lot of you guys bring me nice stuff too. So, but when you guys do bring me nice stuff, I pin it up for you, and that's cool, because that's what we are. We're a community. It's not everything about, Dion sees and finds everything, knows everything. No, not at all. I would not be shit without my community. You guys are my community. I wouldn't be anything without you. You guys are what created the demand to bring this data to the people. So, don't ever feel like, you can't bring something to me. A lot of you guys bring me good stuff. However, if you keep bringing me shit stuff, don't be offended if I give you my opinion, okay? But I do like that, because the way I set up ODAP is community communication. A lot of people, when they make an app or whatever, they want to copycat every other app that's out there. We don't have direct messages in ODAP, okay? Everything is community communication, okay? And the reason why I did that is because I fucking don't like direct messages. And the reason why is because it's not fair, okay? If I share a piece of data with you, okay, and I find that the pick you shared with me is a shitty pick, or let's say you have a question about how to use an exchange or a wallet or something, whatever it may be, I don't want to just answer you, because chances are, and a lot of the times, the same questions that you got, the same, reviews you want me, because typically the picks that you guys want me to review are some bullshit, that's circulating because it has a marketing campaign going on or whatever. I like, you to bring those things up to me in ODAP, because I get to answer that in front of everybody. I get to answer you or teach you how to do something in front of everybody. And a lot of times I'll be teaching one person something and I end up doing that 10 more times because of how many people I talk to. So when I designed ODAP, I removed direct messages. I wanted community communication only, okay? Because I don't like that shit. I think it should be fair. And I think if I'm talking about something, or if I see something that's good, everybody should know about it, or everyone should have the ability to see it. Okay. And the reason why is because it protects me too. I don't like people that, do stupid shit, like that create different narratives, or, think or feel like I have favoritism for somebody, or, I don't want that. So the reason why, and again, this is just another innovative thing that we put together when we were designing ODAP, is like, everybody wants to copy each other. Everybody wants to, we have to have DM. Oh, you have to have, some sort of cycle, or, like, no. I designed ODAP specifically for the crypto sector, specifically for all the dumb shit that I've experienced myself, all the stupid shit that I've witnessed, and all the stupid things that I know people don't like. And I solve them by designing it the way we designed it. Okay, so again, you bring your questions. Don't DM me on Twitter. Don't DM me on Instagram. DM me on ODAP, because I want everybody to get that data too, just so you guys know. Besides that, if you guys have any comments, definitely pop them in if you want. But so far so good, guys. I'm taking a look at Bitcoin. I know a lot of people are like sitting here really bearish because it's at 27,000, but like I really, to be honest with you guys, we called that explosion at 15,000. So, if you're feeling bearish because it retracted a few thousand, it's really not a big deal. I see it more as an opportunity than anything. Not to mention ETH. I think ETH is a way better play. A lot of our whales are, see, here's the thing. I'm more of an altcoin sort of person. I like to carry ETH, but, a lot of our whales only buy ETH, or they only buy Bitcoin. And then they are within ODAP not because they want to buy a bunch of different picks, but because they want to hear the forecast or whatever the fuck's going on or whatever. They value those. But, it just depends on who you are, what you're doing. But to me, if I was picking between Bitcoin or ETH, I would be more long on ETH, simply because the multipliers are there and because it just went deflationary. For those of you that were here with us during the bear cycle last year in 2022, in Q3, when they did that upgrade, okay, they made it deflationary, but with a cap. Okay, so when you went 2.0 with Serenity, okay, don't forget that the effects of that were not going to be felt Q4 or Q1. Okay, the effects of what they did with the upgrades are going to be felt this quarter. Okay, and you're going to see this thing rise. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about too. What's nice about ETH going up? Okay, ABT, Jasmine or Jasmine, whatever. I don't care how you say it. It doesn't matter to me. PRQ, BLZ, LCX, MCO2, Tone, Polka Starter. There's a variety of other ERC20 tokens that we like, but again, all of these are ERC20 tokens that are on the ETH network. Okay. The reason why, when I was picking different things, or the things that I like, is because I'm predicating my forecast based on not just how crazy or cool the company is, but also because of the network it's on. Okay. We're about to experience the most tremendous growth in ETH over the next few quarters than, I would say Bitcoin and multipliers. Okay. Bitcoin might go up really high, but you're still maybe looking at, I would say, max 3 to 5x. ETH, I see more like a 10, like more like I would say 10x sort of look from what I'm looking at, but that's not what I'm really interested in, because, yeah, it's nice to get multipliers or whatever, on some of these bigger price coins and stuff like that, if you're using them as a store of value, and that's cool, whatever. But I'm not here for that bullshit. I'm here to make a lot of fucking money, and I'm here to fucking make multipliers. So if I'm going to be making multipliers, I'm going to be going where everybody's going to be going last, because that's what the current thing to do right now, okay? The normal, current, predictable bullshit thing to do right now. is only buy ETH, only buy Bitcoin. That's it. Okay. But when those things are peaking out, or when they're rising, or as they rise, every time they go up and every time they retrace, it's filling these pockets of altcoins, all these different really good altcoins. Like, all the old ones, even all the good, like Atom, Chainlink, Algorand, all XRP, XLM, all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Is like everybody right now is going Bitcoin, ETH. That's it, right? But that's why you're looking at the bottoms on different alts. That's why you're looking at all these different pockets. Okay, I'm not going to waste my time worrying about my stores of value in Bitcoin or ETH right now. Are they there? Are these things there? Yeah, of course. They're there. You're going to do your thing, but you want to take advantage of some of these altcoins because they're bottomed out. Nobody's there. I like playing in places nobody's at. That's what's funny about a lot of mainstream kids out there. A lot of crypto kids right now, their whole ideology is like brainwashed into stupid shit. It really is, because they're parrots. They like to parrot each other because they try to say, well, if this is popular, if this is getting a lot of marketing, if this mainstream media guy is talking about it, then it's going to go up. That's why you guys fucking fail all the time. That's why you guys go to zero. Every fucking cycle, you guys do not produce as much as you can be, okay? Like, and take it from me, look, I feel like I have a pretty damn good resume for our viewership, okay? Look at what we've built. Look at what we've accomplished, whether it be historical software, historical trades, with no fucking audience, being banned for over 2 years on Twitter, okay? Being banned off of YouTube over 8 months, okay? And we were able to accomplish what people with multi-millions and subscribers have not done. They have all this viewership and they haven't produced shit. They haven't built anything. Okay. So I'm trying to tell you guys, there's the mainstream narrative bullshit that you could go to, and that's fine. I know it all. It's very simple, easy to figure out. But if you're looking for the multipliers, you're going to want to go to unsaturated territory. Okay. Because when you go to a saturated territory, that means everybody's there. That means it's already fished out. Everybody loves bringing up Warren Buffett, fucking Ray Dalio, you name it, whoever, all these different players, Peter Schaff, Robert Teriyaki, all these different guys. They like bringing up every iconic financial analyst, but they don't fucking listen to what they say, because every single one of them say, yeah, there's everything crash, but you know what the best thing to do is? Oh, you want to buy unsaturated markets, anything that's emerging markets. They always say that emerging markets. Emerging is unsaturated, because when you're an investor, you don't buy on what's popular today. You don't do things on what's today and what's popular and why everybody's there, because that's why you're getting rugged all the time. That's why you all get fucking rugged. So you want to go to places before it's popular. You want to go and predict where the market will go in the future, because based on A, B, and C, that this project is going to be needed in the future. Because that's what being an investor is all about. Being an investor is about predicting what will be wanted and needed in the future. Because you are not an investor if you're buying shit based on what I want today, what everybody wants today. And then you wonder why you're not getting the multipliers that are life-changing. That's why a lot of expectations are so fucked up in the crypto sector, because you consistently go along with this like mainstream narrative strategy that just doesn't seem to produce the results. It just doesn't. So I'm not here to terrorize people. I'm not here to, say you're not good or whatever the case. That's not what I'm trying to say to you guys, because I know there's a lot of people. We have different admins from different ecosystems. Okay. We have different developers from different ecosystems. We've got different CEOs from Coinbase that watch us. We got a regular audience, people that are new to crypto. We have a lot of expert traders. Shout out to a lot of you guys out there. I know you guys know what you're doing. Okay. But I'm talking to the people that who I'm talking to. I'm talking to these people that need to hear this shit, because they're not going to hear it nowhere else. Okay. So keep fighting out there, guys. There is a ton of different things out there. I have a huge list of different projects that I love, but again, I can't afford to get every single thing. I've selected 5 projects that I'm going to focus on. Those are going to be the 5 projects that I want to focus on. And that's it. Once we head in towards, quarter three, quarter four, I'm going to be taking a look at things. I'm going to be taking a look at different performance, taking a look at the forecast. And then early 2024, I'm going to be taking a look at different considerations. But I do anticipate my strategy to start changing as we end Q3 or we begin Q4, okay? Because I'm going to be taking a look at a variety of different things, and I'm going to be looking for the next emerging markets as we get closer, okay? Because again, you can continue stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking, but if you have cash flow, okay, if you're still making money, which is what you should be doing, you should continue making money, guys. Don't live off the markets. Continue making money, okay? You put your money that you make in the markets, okay? If you keep living off the market, you're going to be pretty much, enslaved to the market rhythm, okay? And you're not there yet. You want to get there because eventually, it's like my goal. My goal is to every cycle always reserve, depending on what's going on, like 10, 20% of my portfolio, whether it goes up or goes down, but I want to hold assets. And eventually over time, I won't matter what cycle it is. I'm just going to have whatever I need. Okay. That's the point, and you could do that over a course of a few cycles or whatever the case, it could happen, it just depends on what you do. But, continue producing, and there's might be new things coming up. There might be something else, maybe we might make a cut to something. Maybe, there's a lot of different things that we could do, but pay attention to those voice conferences on Wednesdays. Okay. Because those are what's important. A lot of people, they watch me on Twitter, they watch me on YouTube, and they anticipate or they expect, an update or whatever the case. The only people that I'm going to be updating on the dot at the pulse are going to be on OddApp. So if you want the pulse, be on OddApp. That's the goal. Besides that, guys, I don't have too much more to share with you. Just keep in mind on the 27th, again, you have GDP reports coming out. It's anticipated to be a positive one. And then you have the Fed meeting on the 2nd and the 3rd. Okay. And then in June, right after May, you have the debt ceiling expansion of the monetary system. So to me, from here forward, it's looking bullish. And like I said, since the beginning of this year, what you do between January and June is going to determine a lot of your success. Okay. And right now, this year is all about accumulation. If you're in a community obsessed with profits and margins and this and that, and only on that, you're in the wrong community. This year has nothing to do with margin. This year has nothing to do with profits. There's going to be short traders that are going to destroy themselves for a 2x or destroy themselves for a 3x. Don't be those guys. Keep your token counts up and wait for the real payday. Don't be fucking stupid. That's like my best fucking tip that I could give you guys, because we are nowhere near where we should be considering, because you got to think about it. If you do a 2-3x, okay, yeah, it looks nice on paper, but you're going to get taxed on that. What's the point? And you have to think about it like this too. Whenever you're buying assets, you should have your short-term gains and your long-term gains in mind, because short-term gains suck. Okay. They really suck. I don't know if, for those of you that pay taxes, or for those of you that do pay your taxes, I know I do. But the thing is when you're taking a look at your different assets, stuff like that, and you're talking about considerations, I really don't like when an investor is over here talking about, oh, I'm trying to get a 5x or 3x or whatever, and the guy just barely got in. It's like you're going to kill yourself slowly over time, and you're not going to make as much money as you think you are on paper. It's just not going to work. And for those of you that think you're going to get away with it, you're not going to get away with it. Eventually it's going to bite you. Okay. So again, if you're going to do this, you're going to do this right. Do it the right way. Okay. Because you don't need to cut corners. You really don't. You don't need to cut corners. Do the right thing, do it right, and do it right once. That way you don't have to fucking fix anything. Okay. So again, when you're taking these positions, and this is why I don't jump around. This is why I don't buy meme coins. This is why I don't do a bunch of stupid shit. I got like $250 worth of cheap that I bought forever ago. Okay. I think I've had it for like years. But look, what I'm trying to tell you guys is like, when you're taking position, think about your capital gains. Is it short-term? Is it long-term? Because when you start thinking like that, that's when you start taking this shit a lot seriously, and you start taking your time seriously about what the fuck you're holding. Okay. Because that matters. Okay. A 5x and a 10x fucking sucks if you got in on a short term. Okay. So when you're picking something, or when you guys are picking whatever you guys may pick, okay, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you know, keep those things in mind, because longevity matters too. If the coin to you is only going to last 3 months, if the coin to you is only going to last 6 months, that sucks. And that's not going to be a good deal for you, because even if you do get the stars, it's still not going to be a good deal by the time you got to pay. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. When you're picking selections, be like, have longevity in your mind, because if you're holding something and you're going to pay taxes on whatever you're holding based on short and long-term gains, you might as well pick something that you could hold long-term. That way you don't get fucked in the end. Okay. So that's just, I mean, and look, again, not financial advice. You guys do whatever you guys want to do. I'm just some random guy on the internet that seems to outproduce every content creator that has ever lived in the crypto sector. So I'm just, whatever. but, but anyways, guys, look, for real, you guys do you. Everyone has a different type of strategy. I just feel like, you should take care of yourself as much as possible. Okay. And try not to be so bouncy everywhere. You don't want to be a squirrel in the sector. Okay. And another thing, here's another tip for you guys. Cause I'm not going to be able to do a video for, I don't know how long. Another tip. Okay. For those of you that actually have a problem jumping around, or if you have a gambling problem, okay, whatever it may be, the best way to stop yourself from doing that is to stop consistently exposing your eyeballs to constant marketing or constant bullshit, on Twitter, because you're only going to keep cycling yourself till you see it enough till you're like, oh man, maybe I should buy that. That's going to happen to you. So I recommend, focusing on your education. Okay. You have different projects you like, stick to the projects that you like, but stop paying attention to them so much. Don't pay attention to the marketing aspect. I mean, pay attention to the utility, get your updates on what's going on. Okay. But focus on your education financially. The reason why I don't go crazy, guys, and you guys see how much I work 24/7, literally 24/7. That's how obsessed I am with MYC. Okay. Obsessed. But how I don't go crazy is by consistently paying attention to other economic factors. Okay. I have what I have in the crypto sector. I keep myself updated on whatever projects I like. But after that, I'm paying attention to what's going on with Congress. I'm paying attention to what's going on with elections. I'm paying attention to what's going on with, whatever bills they're trying to push forward. I'm paying attention to these different reports, these different schedules that are coming, because I want to know the rhythm of what's going on. Because like I was saying in the beginning of this video, you're always going to have a bet to make. Okay. And the reason why I say there's always going to be a bet to make is not that you're in and out of the market. The reason why I say you're always going to have a bet to make is because there's always a new report coming that could make the market go a little bit higher or make it go a little bit lower. Okay. And there's a bet to make. And when when the reports are coming out, when this event is happening in June, or this event is happening in May, or this is what's expected, all of these different things are providing you, because maybe you got a paycheck yesterday. Maybe you got $300 a few days ago, or maybe you got, whatever. Okay. I would hope that you guys continue producing where somehow, some way you get new money, because that's all that should be in this market is new money. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to say is, like, it's good to know these other things that are going on besides the bullshit sensationalism in the sector, and pay attention to these reports, because, for instance, maybe I got $1,000 check yesterday or something like that. And now I have the opportunity to say, well, should I buy right now, or should I wait until after GDP report on the 27th? Well, there's the bet to make. There's a fork in the road. So now I could say, well, since that's the case, and I think it's going to be bullish, I think I'm going to invest now versus after, because, maybe I might get left behind. Or you could be on the other side of it, say, oh, it's going to be bearish, so the market's going to go down, so I should wait till after and then I'll purchase. So again, these are just little indicators that I wanted to share with you to give you an idea of these different bets that are going to be, in your face eventually. Not to mention the US dollar. So when you're taking a look at the US dollar, yeah, it's nice to take a look at the valuation of it FX wise, but, take a look at your different exchange rates too. because, I'm not only talking to Americans, sometimes I'm talking to people that use the euro, the pound, and all that. There's different times in which you should utilize the max buying power you have, depending on what currency that you are exchanging for, crypto or stocks or whatever. But on top of that, let's say if the dollar market is closed, or let's say, the dollar is not giving you enough answers, or, let's say on the 26th, okay, on the 26th or on the 1st of May, okay, and the dollar market is closed. Go watch gold. Go look at gold. Did gold go up? Did gold go down? These are other indicators that you could take a look at to get an idea of what's coming later, because the markets react. And we all know that these guys make trades when the markets are not even on. Okay. And sometimes some of these different, markets and different sectors provide the answers you're looking for, or maybe they provide you just a hint. Nothing is ever guaranteed or a promise, because you're, at the end of the day, everything in the financial markets, you're trying to predict it, right? Or you're trying to get an idea of what's going to happen. So these are just certain little tips I wanted to provide to you guys to give you an idea of just certain things that I do, or certain things that I look at before I make a trade, or before I make a bet, or whatever the case may be. There's different things that you got to take a look at. So guys, I'm going to leave my links below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram for now. But the main place, if you want to talk to me, or if you want to see me, or whatever the case, if whatever the case, every single day, guys, I'm on OddApp. That's where I work. Every single day is on OddApp. All right. If you need anything, let me know. I will catch you guys on the next time I do a video. And then we'll start from there. All right. I will catch you guys later.